Hello again, you guys. So this is going to be like a yard sale kind of thrift with me, if you like. I'm going to do this in the same format as I did my last thrift with me because it seemed to work really well, where I'm going to do this kind of playback for you and I'm going to talk over the top of it and just let you know what all was going on basically and what I was seeing and what I was deciding on. If you like this kind of content, make sure you stick around. I have plenty of haul videos coming your way as well, including the haul for this thrift with me that I'm showing you right now. That's going to be the next video to pop up on this channel. All right, so let's crack on. We're just going to keep it casual and just kind of hang out. So this was a day when there was neighborhood yard sale. So this one was like all in one particular neighborhood. I really liked this yard sale. The people were super friendly. So I start with the clothes. Every time I go to a yard sale, I'm going to start with the clothes or with the shoes. That's just kind of where I gravitate to and what I sell mostly. And then I'll usually stop and look at the hard goods as well, just because you literally never know what you may find. So on this particular one, there was a lot of kind of, you know, the kind of brands you'd find like a Ross and things like that, kind of that boutique-y vibe, but not really any name brands necessarily. So I didn't find anything here that I wanted to sell. A few pieces of loft and things like that, but nothing that I really wanted to pick up, although they were only $1 a piece. So, you know, I probably could have found something to make a profit on, but just nothing that really caught my eye this particular time. Kind of some cute styles and stuff like that though. Always fun to kind of have a flick through. And so the next thing that I was looking for is like any shoes down below. Always checking under the tables, right? You never know. Like I said, the people were super, super nice. They were masked up, which is always nice. It makes it a little bit easier to kind of deal with stuff. So I'm checking out some purses. She had a Kate Spade, which was super cute, that black one at the back, the pebble leather, but she wanted $45 for it. And if I bought it for myself, that would be such a bargain, but there's not much money there really for resale wise, so I decided not to pick that one up at this particular yard sale. I tend to try and go for, you know, plenty of lower items unless there's something that really I know I'll make a lot of profit on. Now I did find these. They were brand new Talbots, still had the price tag on, $129, just like little kind of denim loafers, which were kind of cute. That's the Kate Spade there that I'm kind of taking a peek at right now. Let me know if you know anything about that bag. Maybe I should have grabbed it for $45, I don't know, but that's more than I'm used to spending at yard sales, I have to say. And I couldn't really find too much here to do. Or Cynthia Rowley, so that was the brand on that one. Nothing I would really grab. If you kind of like take a peek under the table, if I pull out again, you might see some Ninja Turtle stuff, some vintage Ninja Turtle backpack. I grabbed that, and it had a whole bunch of like vintage toys, which I'm going to lot up and sell, and look like they may do okay. This is me kind of chit-chatting right now to the camera. I decided not to keep the audio just because it wasn't a good quality, but basically I'm talking about the fact I grabbed some shoes and the fact that a whole bunch of people surrounded me at that yard sale, and it was a little bit overwhelming, and me and the people who were there, who all of us were masked, we were kind of a little bit, I don't know, taken aback. They were quite in your face, I suppose you could say, kind of leaning over the table and things like that, but we all made it work. Everybody was fine. Luckily we're outdoors, so it's, you know, you can keep them social distance, and it's good to be out in the sunshine, I guess. So we're just kind of like circling around the neighborhood right now looking for yard sales. I will say there were not as many as they usually are. Usually this whole neighborhood is absolutely packed. They have police helping people like to navigate the roads because they're so jam-packed, and almost every house is doing a yard sale, but here it was really few and far between, which I think is potentially just kind of a sign of the times right now. We just sort of stopped anywhere that I could see like clothes hanging basically, or shoes down on the ground. I decided to stop. All right, so we're going over to shoes first of all, and to purses and things like that. Again, just taking a peek, but mostly being some lower end brands. I do tend to gravitate towards boots as well, just in case you find some Keens or some Morels or some Timberlands. Not those ones, unfortunately. And then I'm always looking at these clogs and stuff, you know, these mules you see. Again, just in case I happen to stumble across some like Birkenstocks maybe, or even some Clarks, depending on, you know, what they're like. You can see that some of these items were a little bit kind of higher price, sort of $10 for the Cavu bag, and then $5 for the other bag that didn't really have a brand and stuff. So sometimes that's an indication when you end up at a yard sale that maybe you're not going to necessarily find something that's going to be in your price range for reselling. You know, you get some clues as you go along. Just looking at, again, a lot of these kind of like little boutique brands. I did quite like that sweater, but it was kind of a more modern one, not a vintage Christmas sweater, so I didn't really want to pay up for that. Again, looking at all those really nice prints and things like that, seeing what all I can find brand wise. Taking a look at the jeans just in case there's any sort of cheap American Eagle or Miss Me or something like that with that thicker stitching like you saw hanging. It wasn't, unfortunately. It was more kind of like of a knockoff, but you know, when things catch your eye, definitely stop and just check that label. All right. I can't even remember where I went now. Oh, I do remember this one. I actually bought some stuff at this one, which is really good. So again, standard, that's shoes. As you can see, there's plenty of space. I found some Timberlands first of all, and they were actually only $1 per pair, which is an absolute bargain. So just going through and making sure there's not more of the same or nothing there that would be worth grabbing, that it was in good condition, mostly focusing on condition. Now I like these Tommy Hilfiger. They were definitely sort of a vintage vibe, and they had that wedge. They reminded me like super 90s, early 2000s, but unfortunately they had like a sticky residue all over the wedge. You can kind of see like some peeling and stuff going on there, and it just kind of felt like it might be wanting to disintegrate, you know, kind of like Danskos do. So I really just wanted, even though they were only $1, I just wanted to err on the side of caution. I didn't really want to process them and deal with that, and definitely didn't want to disclose something like that to my buyer in case it meant that they were really falling apart. So I grabbed the Timberlands, I think, and started making a pile, and then just kind of kept going through again, looking for those must-have styles or any brands that really stand out to me. $1 per pair is an absolute bargain if you find some good shoes. You can see I kept coming back around to them. They were in a little bit of a like worn sort of shape, they look like, but really they were only kind of dirty. When I've cleaned them up, they've come up pretty nice so far. So that's always good. I went into the bags and stuff next. As you can see, this one here was a Coach purse. I have had it sort of informally authenticated. This was only $2. Did have some pen marks and stuff on it. Definitely needed some love, and it took me a couple of hours actually to kind of clean it up and get it sorted out, but I'm probably going to keep that as personal use at this point, as like a laptop bag. I did grab it for $2, and that was actually an experiment for me for getting ink out of leather, so I made a video on that. I'll link it in case you're interested in seeing how that went for me. I grabbed this Coach purse too, again informally authenticated, and when I put in the serial number for both of them, it brought up the exact same purse on Google, which is always a good sign when you're at a yard sale, you know, just as an first indication of whether or not it may be authentic. But unfortunately the Coach purse that I grabbed, that second one, the zipper is broken, I realized when I got home. So $2, and for a lesson learned there, to check the zippers when you're going through stuff. I had a quick look at plushies and stuff. I'm always kind of keeping an eye open for my kids and whatever, in case there's anything there that they may not like as like a surprise maybe when I get back to the van, you know, for being patient with me as I thrift. So we had some clothes hanging up again. The clothes were all about $1 a piece. I probably could have grabbed that Talbot, so it was Irish linen, I think it was, but I guess I decided not to in the end. Just going through, they had some newer tags, but not a lot of like super standout brands at this point. This was a Lane Bryant, and it was newer tags, but it was a Gabe's tag, which I grabbed this, but I removed the Gabe's tag, but I kept the little one there with the button in it, so I could say new without tags. And it was a size 20, which was a great size as well. This was a pretty cute dress, and I think it was like maybe Nanette Lepore, may have been that, or maybe it was the Papel. I can't remember now. It was one of those two that apparently I get mixed up in my head a lot. But I decided, I kind of kept coming back to it, and it had a cute floral like design on the bottom, but it was a little bit worn, and so even for $1 I decided to leave that one behind. Just kind of adding to my pile in the middle of the garage there, as you do. And decided to take a look at the men's shoes as well, again just making sure we don't have any good outdoors brands or anything like that going on. Had some jewellery and bits and bobs, but more kind of like Claire's accessories type jewellery, I think. Nothing that super stood out to me at this point. I do like some vintage jewellery if I can get it. And that was it. That is my footage from this particular yard sale, this neighborhood yard sale. That's pretty much as far as I got. Then it started getting busy, if I'm honest. It started getting really busy, and I kept getting kind of flushed out of yard sales just a little bit, especially the ones that are inside the garages, which are just a little bit harder to navigate, depending on what the crowd level is. videos, but I did pick up quite a few things. I ended up with a pretty mighty haul, and I ended up going on to some other yard sales later on where I found some really good items, lots of shoes, and quite a bit more clothing around the $1 mark. So if you're interested in seeing what I actually ended up buying at all of these yard sales this day, then stay tuned, because the very next video that's coming up is the haul. And like I said, it's a pretty good haul, pretty lengthy haul, because I did end up getting a good 30 plus items. All right, you guys, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you are new here, please think about hitting subscribe and coming back and hanging out some more for some more thrifty content. Please let me know down below in the comment what your favorite item that you've either sold or picked up recently is. I love to hear that from you guys and to see what all is going on in your thrifting worlds. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye, you guys.